Good evening to everyone. So I'm academic counselor H. Biswas. So today the MMPH 007 compensation and reward management. Now today block 4, and within the block 4 now we have to discuss today the unit number 12 and 13. 12 and 13 is the incentive schemes, and 13 is your allowances, perquisites, and benefits. Then there you have to see the details. What type of schemes are there in the organizations, and bonus, what are the act in the Indian acts, and type of there are all details that we have to discuss. And unit 13, there are the allowances, perquisites, and what are the benefits, and why it is required, many things. So that part we have to see it. Now, first things we have to try to understand the bonus. So actually, it is an extra payment to the employees apart from the regular wages and incentives. What we are getting, the regular wages, it is extra. For the accounting year, they will be calculated how much the profit is their company, and based on this, they have to decide the management and the unions will decide. And considering the act, considering the corporate act, they have to decide the bonus. So it is a premium beyond the usual interest for a loan. It is an extra dividend to shareholders. So basically, there is a bonus you can see. Now go for further details. The concept of the bonus payment to workers oriented in India, that is during the First World War, in the cotton textile industry in Bombay and Ahmedabad in 1917. So here some of the evolutions, or we can see the history of the bonus behind it, that we are discussing. So first things, it is a first after during the First World War it is decided, and it is in the Bombay Ahmedabad cotton industry in 1971. That time it was decided. Then after that the practice was discontinued in 1923. And there was a general strike at the government of the Maharashtra. Then they appointed a committee headed by the Sir Normal MacLeod. Then the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court to consider the nature and the basis of the payment of bonus in the cotton textile industry of the Bombay to consider the case. So then finally the observation has come. So on the basis of these observations, a link between the profits and the bonus was established in early 1920s. After that, in 1942, so there was a bonus dispute in the General Motor India. I think GM, as you know, in the other countries also there. So there some dispute arises. And the case was observed by the Justice Chandler. As per his observation, he said the profits are made possible by the contribution on the both capital and the labor make in any particular industry. Then see after that, then a committee for profit sharing was appointed by the government of India in 1948. So profit was considered as a precondition of the bonus. That is basically the history behind it, the bonus, how it has come. If the question comes, or as a short note of the bonus, then you have to elaborate these things. Now the Payment of Bonus Act was introduced in 1956, and still it is continuing. Maybe little bit amendment is there, but mostly the Bonus Act are 1956. So I have to see what are the inside in the 1956, what are the sections are there, and all the sections, what the way it is defined. Now, according to Section 10 of 1956 Act, every employer shall be bound to pay every employee in respect of any accounting year a minimum bonus which shall be 8.33% of the salary or wages earned by the employee during the accounting year. Bonus can be forbidden under Section 9 only when the reference to the accounting year in which the employee committed fraud, theft, etc. If it is found the employee are not joining as per the norms, any disciplinary act, whatever the things, and it is find out is a fraud, his certificate is fraud, his service is fraud, or maybe theft, he has stolen something. In that case, he may not be allowed or may not be entitled for the bonus. That is as far as the Section 9 it is written. Now, bonus can be permitted under Section 9 only with reference to the accounting. Now, according to Section 11, the amount of minimum bonus payable to the employees, the employer shall be bound to pay to every employee a minimum bonus of 20%. Sorry, maximum bonus for the 20% of his salary of the wages. So that is written in the irrespective of the what are the profit margins there, but maximum limit is 20%. Now the Act provides for protection to newly set up establishment. Now becoming those are newly established company. The first 5 years, 5 accounting years, we can say, the bonus shall be payable only in respect to the accounting year in which the employer derives profit, and such bonus is to be calculated in accordance the provision of this act. Means if continuously the 5 years profit margin is there, then may or may not be they have to provide the bonus, but after that they have to keep the bonus. So payable only in the respect of the accounting year in which the employer derives profit. Suppose within these 5 years, suppose particularly the 3rd year, he has achieved some of the things. Profit is there, then accordingly you have to give it. So every employee would get a bonus within a period of 8 months from the close of the accounting year. So that is some of the newly act has been introduced for the newly set up establishment. Now, some of the schemes, incentive schemes, special provision for the new establishments. This is for suppose for it is given. Then company the customary to interim bonus, deduction for the bonus from the bonus, time limit for the payment of the bonus, application of act to public sector establishments, refunds of disputes related to bonus, maintenance of registers, records, etc., penalty, bonus linked with productivity, then expenditure from bonus payment, act not to apply the certain classes of employees. So these all are the different schemes. Now coming to profit share. The profit sharing means what are the paying to the employees is share of the net profit. What are the profit is there? They have to share, and as per the is wage salaries. It is payment of a dividend or a sum based of the wages salary, grade or seniority. So it is supposed to be a stimulus for the higher performances, because when the employee are working in such a company, and how to motivate them and how to get a more performance, higher performance, then definitely you have to give a some what about the earning, the profit earnings that has to be shared by these things as a dividend or as a bonus or as a isgatia. What are the way you have to give it the some money? So based on the salary and the grade, it is some sort of your stimulus for high performance. Now stock options. Stock options are opportunity to buy stock at a set price. Companies sometimes offer. They should also buy the employees, buy the share of this particular company, his own companies, so that they should also feel I am also a part of the owner of the company, and accordingly the motivations and plus at the same time the productivity will be high, morale will be high, and their feelings will be different. So employers offer stocks to their employees for several reasons. So now we have to see what are the reasons behind it. Why the company are offering the shares to the employees. Firstly, now the some forms of the profit sharing. What are the forms? Various forms of the profit sharing on the cash, equity, and deferred payments, funds invested for a specific period, because sometimes payment is giving it based on the invested fund, because company has just funds there and they have to give it the payment after that with a certain period, maybe 3 years or 5 years, just like a bond type. Now stock options, and stock options are the opportunities. Stock options are the opportunities to buy stock at set price. What are the set pricing? The range is there, and based on this, you have to buy. And definitely, it will be companies sometimes offer the shares to the employees below the market levels. What are the set price in the market? I mean the range, and company will be offered to the at least some deductions. I mean 10% or 20% less, and some number of the shares also they have to mention. The all employee will be eligible for this. So immediately or sometimes in the future, the employers offer stocks to their employees for several reasons, such as have to see what are the reasons. Because attractions. People attract the company so that the people can work more. Retention, they can stay in the company because when they feel I am also part of the, my share is also in the company. So I will get a more money, because if the company profit, that sharing of the profit, percentage of the profit as a dividend or as a bonus, I will also get it. So in turns, it will give a motivations. Another thing is financial participation by the employees in the wealth created through the joint efforts of the management and the labor or employers and employees. Financial participation means you are giving some uh, purchase some of the debentures, purchase of the shares, or other way you are investing in the company. So that part it will generate the extra money in the company, and altogether it will the both the way it is a win-win situation. Company is also growing, employee are also happy, and employer is also happy. His target is fulfilling. Another thing is commitment, because when you are know what is my performance, my productivity, my work, my hard work, the result will come. I am also a part parcel of that result part. I will also be part of this. So that by automatically the commitment is also come. You have to try to finish the work in time. To do this work in quality wise, you will give a most effort with the full strength. You have to try to do it. So that way, the commitment will come. Develop the common purpose ideology between employers and a purpose will be developed in some ideology. There's everybody will focus on particular these things. We have to finish this work, and that is the work for the benefit for the all. Then another part is a performance-based reward. What you have done, you are eradicating. Earlier, if it is suppose for incentive scheme is not there, what will happen? We can think in other way also. Maybe employee will think I am giving hard work, I am giving my full strength, but I am not getting anything. Everything the employers are getting, and now we are not sharing anything. So maybe you will be start with routine work. There will be no commitment, no intentions, no attractions. Simply come and go. That type of inertia, that type of gel will not come in the mind. So if you have some performance-based reward systems, then automatically they have to work hard and have to fulfill the work also. This is all of the basically the benefit of the incentive schemes. We can say. Now, supplement retirement social security benefits. The supplement retirement means in the case of if you are retired, you will get some extra money or some instant security. Social security is also to be there as pensions, some money, lump sum money, as a so this is the way all are highlighted the benefit purposes. Or maybe post-medical facilities that in the social security in the sense because some post-medical benefits are there. If the retired persons are medically required, company will take care after the retirement also. Or maybe some of the tourist area means guest house. Guest house is there, company guest house. After the retirement also they can go there and enjoy the guest house with a very minimum payment or the reduced payment. So that type of things is also a part of the incentives, we can say. Incentives for the improved performance on a sustained basis. When the employees become owners, that is the important thing. When the employees become owners, too, they not only their blood, but also their sweat. Means they have to their sweat. Means everything they have to ready to pay. Their hard work, their honesty, their commitment, everything. So prevent the hostile takeover. It is expected employees, shareholders will provide the hedges against the unfriendly takeovers by other firms. Now stock options are becoming familiar in view of the following. Now we have to see, it may be questions, you can have a questions, you can make it questions. You explain what are the stock options. This is the way. Then you have to describe number one, the shift from industrial to informational revolutions. Knowledge workers expect say and stop. That is some of the viewpoints. Public policy in many countries favors giving employees share in equity and profits. The public policies. Even I think I can give you some of the examples. Most of the public sector undertaking companies, NTPC, BHL, Indian Oils, Power Grid, they have a share, even in the Tata Power also. So all the employees, they are also having a share also that they are purchasing. Through this IPO, they have to purchase. And they are, what are the profits also they are gaining the profits also as per the norms. Now coming to downsizing of the downsizings or the right sizings. Now we are talking about the allowances, perquisites, and the benefits and the benefits. So it is a part of your unit number 13. Downsizing nowadays it is a common phenomena. Most of the companies are doing. And what is the reason behind it? That we have to search it. Our search is why the reason behind it. And really it is necessary or not. That part of things. It is an expression used to describe the strategy of achieving competitiveness. Because every company are focused on not only the profit, at the same times survival mode, I mean in the retain in the market. So that's why some competitiveness are very much needed. That's why there's all these things, your downsizing or right sizing. Basically, I think in this case I can say the right sizing means you have to size the things. Maybe we have to cut down some of the posts. Maybe we reduce some of the things, or maybe you have to transfer some of the things. You can increase some of the things. So this way you have to manipulate the things. Ultimately focus so that you can achieve the competitiveness. You can retain there in the market. You can still as a in the market. Your positioning of the market in the market. How it is possible? So that's why they reduce through the reduction of the workforce. And another aspect is there. That's why I bolded in red color. That is the optimal utilization. That is also very needed because you have to see the workers are really utilized. I mean, the employee are really utilized or not fully in a full place they are utilizing or not. So to cut down some of the things and see the optimal utilization. Human resource management is very important in this case. What are the sources? So it is a sustainable propositions, both economically and socially. Low unit labor costs are the important considerations in attracting the investment and generating more jobs. And thus the contributions, contribute to the reductions of unemployment and poverty. These all are basic definition of the downsizing and the right sizing. From here itself, we can also understand why it is needed. In India, now coming to some of the history, now I have to see the evolution, how it has coming up, and in the Indian perspectives, we have to see it in view of Indian conditions. In India, in the free liberalizations era, labor was protected in labor markets, and capital is product market. In the post liberalizations, both feel less protected because now everything are not labors are earlier, though because it is more than the labor market was protected the everything. Now the company can reduce, they can reduce the manpower. Obviously, some rule is that there state where they cannot downsize it, or they cannot reduce the manpower in industrial. Some permissions, the endorsement is required from the ministry or from the labor ministries, and they have to give a clarification and the justifications also. There are some rules there. So, according to Section 2 of the Industrial Disputes Act, it is inserted through an amendment by the 1953. It is amended that asserts that the retrenchment does not include voluntary retirement of the workman. So it is already in the Dispute Act. Now, external reasons for the downsizing. Now coming to the point, why the reasons. There are internal problems are there, reasons and external. Now we are discussing the external reasons. Structural and other changes in the economy enterprises. If it is structural changes, that is one of the point. Maybe some of the levels has cut down, some of the posts is now cut down because of the structural things in the enterprise systems. Changes in the environment, that is one of the factors. Another aspect is now the changes is technology. I think it is a well known, everybody can understand because of the technology, lot of downsizing is going on. And maybe in future also, you can see in future because of the AI and others sophisticated technology can rule. I mean, that case maybe some of the jobs will be cut. Through these AI tools can be performed and may not be required some of the posts. Changes in ownerships and the control, including the disinvestments, markets, acquisitions. Because of that also, sometimes your downsizings appears. Maybe the both two giant companies has joined and they have to start their things as a merger. Or sometimes some of the company has acquired some of the company in acquisition process. So he may or may not be required in total all the employees. They have to they put some other works. They have to redesign their job tasks. This is the way maybe sometimes you can reduce some of the post or job also. So in the past, nationalization usually it has resulted in maintenance of the existing workforce or increasing the workforce by disinvestment, because sometimes it may be happen, it is increased the workforce while the disinvestment is worked. Merger or acquisition usually warranted reduction in the workforce. Now, business process re-engineering, this is another, nowadays it is a focus on most of the companies. Most of the companies, they are thinking how to survive in the market, to fulfill their competitiveness. They are re-engineering their total process, business process, irrespective of finance, marketing, your process work, everything, including the reassessment of many patterns, because now they have to reassessing the things. Really required 5 managers or not? It can be, it could be managed by the 3 managers as sufficient or not. So they have to see where the work should not be overloaded and should not be unloaded also. So a rational way they have to fix it. And they are also at the re-engineering time, they have to see that there are procedures should be seamlessly, they can do it. What should be simplified? I mean, simplifications. What are the procedures, steps, maybe in the production lines, assembly lines, testing side, commissioning side. There are so many stages are there. All the stages should be simplified, and simplification is required. So that total business process are going on. So because of that also sometimes the downsizings are required. Automatically it will come out. So this is the reasons for, I mean, now we are talking about here external reasons. Now see what are the other reasons also. Outsourcing is another thing, because some of the work, part of the work you are outsourcing. So maybe their manpower is not required. And it is a very economy also, because if the company is doing their own, it may take time, the quality and other manpowers. So maybe they can compare as a comparative analysis based on these. it should be cost effective also. If they are outsourcing the things, better quality work they can get it, and maybe less time can be less, and money invested will be less. So there's a lot of parameters are there. There to management will see the outsourcing may be more beneficial rather than we can keep the manpower or we can the establishment. So this is the sometimes because of that also downsizings are effective. I mean that yeah. Contracting outside parallel productions, lease licensing manufacturing, like this. Maybe some of the products, some of the components are you're giving a leasing to the other company. They are preparing their product. After that, they can send it to back. Then main assembly will going on. So this is the way you can split some of the works. You can give it to other companies or some through the subsidiaries or something. Introduction of the information technology. You see, because of the one of the aspect, because of the ERP and SAP, etc. Because of that, the downsizings are. Here actually I just try to clarifying the things. Wow, what are the reason behind the downsizing? Why the company is going for downsizing? Because they have a pressures. Company has to see the profit. What are the existing manpower? They cannot increase the manpower every day. What are the limited existing manpower? Within this best they can do it. Then product process obsolescence, sometimes about the product or process are very old and time-taking jobs. There they can purchase the new machineries, new tools. They can faster and manpower can be less manpower. One man can do this, operate the things. There need not to 4 or 5 persons are required. One machine is a capacity, multitasking they can do. So just for example, one we make Xerox machine. Now within the Xerox machine, you see that their photocopy, scan, even in the through this mail also, even in the they can store the data, everything. So rather than earlier it was part by part, scanner separate, Xerox machine is separate, printer separate. So all these things are taking a more money investment plus manpower. So there you can reduce particular one machines and they can do it everything. So technology are very important. One of the points. Chronic sickness and corporate failure. That is another reason. Continuously, consecutively loss. There the manpower, no motivations. Even in the CEO are not competent. The corporate continuously the failure of the corporate levels, and there are so many things are there. So this is the way. So this is the way we can see it. How many? What are the types of this? Then decline the employment electricity due to automations. And another thing is the decline. Why they decline the employment? Because a lot of employees are decline the employment in sense uh, not getting the skilled persons. Main things company always searching the skilled persons because in general uh, education or general experience may not be fit for their uh, things. So that the automation is one of the culprit. I mean, because of that, lot of the routine skills has been reduced by the automation. Can do it everything. I mean, the remote controlling, remote sensing, and even the machines can see the report everything automatically. It will generate it. So need not to take manpower is there. One as long as the recorder is there, he is recording the all the information, sending, transmitting the things also, and finally it will reach to the control center. So all this data is recorded. In between, earlier, lot of people, somebody has to go to the particular spot, they have to identify, they have to record the data, and then after that it will be physically written or something typing, then come back to the office and then now it is not required. Put some automations, remote control sensors from the sensors, they can send the messages to the control centers, and there they can read it. If you require some of the paint, you can paint. Even moreover, all the information can be retrieved also. You can store also, and whenever it is required. And after that, also you can analysis purposes also. So that's why the during tremendously the manpower reductions because of that. But undoubtedly the skilled person is always required. Now internal reasons. Now so far we have discussed the external reasons. Now we have to see what are the internal reasons for that. Now improper or inadequate human resource planning, that is one of the reasons, because internally sometimes we are not planning the manpower in a correct way. As the management languages, one word is there, that is a common languages, a right person in right jobs or in the right place. And right pay also. So because sometimes the planning from the job tasks, allocation of the jobs, into the, from the starting from the your socializations of the work, means your introductions, then orientation programs, training and development, and the human growth, skill development, different aspects of training and development, all everything is the part of your planning. So if it is improper, that improper, somehow it is not properly justified. So your manpower is not utilizations. The optimum utilizations is different. So definitely it will be cases of your internal business. Now, wrong selections. As I said, the wrong selection and the recruitment or the placement. The person says you have recruited, but ultimately, based on the certificate and some experiences, and within a 3 to 5 minutes or 10 minutes interview you have conducted, based on this you have recruited. But after that, it has found that he is not fit for these purposes. Maybe uh, wrong selections. So that is also the policy, because the selection policy is wrong and they have not scrutinized correctly. They have not interviewed in a very sophisticated manner, or the latest start of the recruitment policy they have not adopted. So there are a lot of stimulation process are there, how to recruit the things. Even the recruiting process is also now technically takes the tools, different lot of tools are there, how to selection procedures. That's what is missing. Then another, as I said, that the inadequate training. Training is also very important. It is a learning process, continuous process, a dynamic. And then the action. Training is development is different, but training is always an action. You really, it is required immediately you have to put this apart. And skilling. The skilling is very important. Through this training only it's possible. Right skilling. Inadequate improper motivations. Now the human behavior point of view, the employees are not motivated. Even though they are skilled, even though their education, everything is there, but they are not motivated. Maybe the compensation packages, maybe the reward system is not good, maybe the leadership is also not at par the align with these things. That's why the reward systems, everything in the incentives are not good. Allowances, perquisites, that's why all these topics are here. So when you are suggesting any allowances or things, then you have to keep in mind this is our employee and they have to motivate. It needs for the business. They have to motivate. Otherwise, it will be hampered. So these all are the internal reasons. Sometimes because of that, you have to downsizing the company. Substitution of the labor with the capital. So this is some of the list out the internal reasons. Now coming to measure to avoid the downsizings or your from the job losses, because so that you can minimize the job losses. So in addition to the above, several measures could be considered to avoid the minimize the job losses. Restriction of the hiring, for instance, so it is need. If the continued over the several years may have the unintended consequences and dysfunctionalities terms of critical skill gaps at a much later date, because in future you can see that lot of skill gaps are there if you are not considering all these things. So there is some sort of measurement is required. If you do these things, so it may not be required for the downsizing, because you are skill them. What are the gaps are there? You are fulfill. So they need not put this. You can utilize them. Their resources, their capacity, their competency. You can utilize. The company can utilize. Even during the downsizing, company are always trying to keep the employees at first. This is very painful things when the downsizing, the any management is very painful. They're not reluctant to do these things initially, but view of the strategical point of view in the market, they have to survive. That's what they're doing, but they have to try to cut down those who are unskilled, unmotivated persons, employees. They have to first target their own. So the following some of the measures that will minimize. What are the things are there? Restrictions on the hiring for a limited period. Then spreading reductions over time, because that is not good. Internal transfers, training and retraining is required. Sometimes transfer is very important, because you see, if somebody is particularly in one positions, maybe 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, so his development will be stuck up, because stereotype jobs, maybe he will frustrate, distress will start, and he will feel like there is no way out, I have to do this only. So give a chance to explore himself and explore and see the company also how best he can do it, depending on his capacity. So transfer is always it is a blessing. You have to consider it that transfer is a blessing. Training and retraining, the voluntary early retirement, income protections, restriction of the overtime, entrepreneurships, extra shift, extended work, then counseling and outplacement, reduction of the normal hours, then priority of the hiring. These are all some of the area where we have to look after. Some of the measuring area. Now, voluntary, coming to the voluntary retirement scheme. This is also one of the steps to reduce the your downsizing systems. I mean, the company can be adjust. So voluntary retirement is the legally tenable and forms an integrated part of the public policy. So in the work of liberalizations, the government has created a special fund called the National Renewal Fund. The Renewal Fund is there, and in March, it is nearly the 90% of the fund to voluntary retail schemes. That is more than around 1 lakh employees from the central public sector undertakings, which have not been doing well commercially. I think maybe you might have heard that the SBI and other so many banks has given a VRS scheme. There's a gold handshakes. It's now gold handshakes. check, hold on a second. Checking the hand like this, checking. So, and it is very successful also that banks employees are those who have to give in those who are reaching 55 years old, they can eligible for the VRS. They can sacrifice their 5 years service and take the lump sum money and they can do it whatever the way they can do it. That is the way company has do something. The government service rules also provide for voluntary retirement of civil servants as part of the government efforts to downsize the government. In the public sector, the Department of the Public Enterprises (DPE) has framed the guidelines also, which mostly public enterprises owned and controlled by the central government. The guidelines in force during the 1980s and in the early 1990s, these type of things are there. Now, VRS, now we can know more details in the VRS. Now, VRS open for the employees who have completed 10 years of the service or 40 years of services. But it is a VRS scheme, again, it is dependent on the management decisions. They can have it for a certain period, maybe 6 months or 1 year, they can declare it. After they can stop it also. It's not a throughout the year, throughout the time, it is not. So management of the enterprises has the right not to consider any request under VRS. That's the things. Annual benefits include when they are terminated, what are the benefits are given? There's a balance of provident fund accumulation, whatever the balance is there. Then leave encashment as per the rules, gratuity as per the government. Gratuity act, they're supposed to give it as the VRSs. And 1/3 months of the notice may be paid. Ex gratia payment equivalent to 45 days. Emoluments, pay and the DNS allowance for each completed year of service. If it is a 5-year service or 10-year service, pro rata basis will give it. Then travel for self and family to place the settlement as per the leave travel entitlement, because suppose they have to retire, they can take a VRS from Delhi. Now they're supposed to settle in Bangalore. So that all these transport or to and fro, air tickets or train tickets, everything will be eligible. Is that entitled for these things as per the leave table entitlement. Then higher education can be proposed only after the approval of the BPE, Bureau of Public Enterprises. This rule, however, does not apply in the case of existing schemes, etc. The above rules apply to all categories of the employees. There are some things are written regarding the VRS purposes, while some schemes provide for the adjustment of the outstanding advances, loans, and then lump sum gratuity. And some foreign banks also wiped off the full of subsidiarity and the outstanding, if some of the outstanding dues are there, they can also wipe off in the case of those who are going for the VRS. Now, cost benefit analysis of the VRS. Now, to see what are the costs and the benefits of the VRS to a company. Now, that is also one of the important. What are the costs and the benefits of the VRS for the individual employees? Suppose if we consider the individual companies concerned, then what are the costs of the benefits? If any of the society, these all are the things are to be seen. Suppose a company introduces a VRS with a view to reduce its surplus labor. Suppose that is the viewpoint of the company. The VRS, why he is introduced or launching the VRS. And if a company can reduce its workforce through the retrenchment, it has no compensation at the rate of 15 days salary for every year of completed service. So companies employing the more than 100 persons cannot retrench their employees without giving priority notice, because some of the conditions is there. Suppose some company more than 100, then they have to give some priority notice, consultation with the employees and the unions, paying the compensation under the law, and obtaining the prior permissions and the appropriate government. Then only retrenchment they can do it. Then your cost and benefit to the employees for the high skilled, high performance VRS is in the golden parachute. Assume that if they make a secure investment of the VRS account, which gets them for a monthly basis 60 to 70% of their previous earnings, and they are able to get another jobs. They can earning to and at least 70% of the previous earnings. So their total earnings will be 30 to 40% higher, because here is also they are getting, and after that also they can get it. So those are skilled and performed things. They are always accepting the VRS also sometimes. Company has to see the skilled person should not go for the VRS systems. They have to try to restrict the things, because they are the valuable employees. If they go again, somebody will come and develop the things. It is difficult. The same experience may not be available. So cost benefit, you have to actually, it is some of the beneficial, have to see various schemes. It is really needed or not. Companies benefited or not. Individuals also benefited. So lot of things have to be considered. When the large companies in small communities resort to significant downsizing through the VRS and other means, the cost of the community are substantial due to resultant area degenerations and the consequential spread of the unemployment, social unrest, and law and other problems. Because particular one area, a particular company, they are staying in almost the same peripheral area, and they have retired. I mean, they have taken a VRS. So at a time, some unemployment will generate. So individual may not be go for the other work. They have to stay there. So that is also impact in the social systems also. So that is also we have to see it. So that there shouldn't be any law and other problems should not be there. The legal aspect is also there. Some of the legal aspects. The management want to freedom to adjust the manpower as per the changing business needs. Labor laws in a country do not make it easy to retrench or reduce the workforce and the employer's discretions, because it is all of the employer's discretion is there. Not only the completions with the certain procedures and compensation as per the law, but prior approval of the government is mandated, as I say, by the law. So in the circumstances, so employers have two options in this case: negotiate with the workers, because some of the government constitutions are there, you cannot rechange. So best things is negotiate with the workers and the unions and arrive an agreement plan of actions, what to do and how to do it, so that company there shouldn't be any dispute. Now it is the legal aspect is there. Now I have to discuss some of the questions, relevant questions in the particular these two chapters, two areas. So question may come, what the various provision of the Payment of Bonus Act 1965, as we have discussed today, some of the things. So, and the second questions may come, discuss the applicability, ability, and the benefits of the Payment of Bonus Act 1965. Then basically there are two questions is sufficient regarding the bonus area. Third question is, what are various forms of profit sharing in incentive schemes? As I said, cash, cash award. There are so many way is there various profit sharing schemes. Then another question is, why do employers offer the stocks? Why the company employers are offering the stocks to their employees? Because to motivate them so that performance can be good. There are some belongings, the feelings should come. Yes, I am also a part of the company. So there is performance. Basically, target is to show, and at the same the benefit for the well-being. Then to question is write a short note on productivity link bonus. This is also very, very important because most of the companies they are giving the bonus based on the productivity. How throughout the particular kind of particular accounting year, how much you have the profit is theirs. Based on this, they have to calculate overall individually and the company wise as a different level purposes, and they have to decide uh, the things. And some of the company they have to, every month they have to give some incentives, and annually they have to give it, maybe 2% or 3%, whatever the amount. So this is the 5 questions from the your unit number 12 in the bonus act, all these things. Now coming to another part, that is your last unit. That's where the allowances part is there, and why the downsizing is required. List the various reasons of the downsizings in an operation. Then you have to list it out. What are the reasons behind it? Which you have already now discussed. So you have to list out the things, and you explain a little bit. Then discuss how can a company go about the VRS, when the VRS is needed, and what is the procedure for that. If it is more than 100 people, there are two different rules are there, and some of the things are mandatory. You have to endorse, you have to give a notice, and what the reason behind it, why you go for the VRS. Maybe a demotivated persons are more, performance is less, leadership is not there. Some reasons you have to, or maybe the competitiveness in the market. So that is one of the what are the things you have to list it out. How can an organization deal with the workforce redundancy? That is important. How to deal? What are the how to redundancy? The workforce is there. So that's why the training, retraining, reengineering, restructuring, orientations, and deployment. Lot of areas there where you can also deal with your workforce rightly, and that need not be required for the downsizing in future also. All the time you are upskilling your things, and it is related aligned with the market, aligned with the market studies. So then how can an organization respond to the downsizing demands? That also these all are very latest questions likely to be in the exam papers. Then what are the various components in design of a VRS scheme? That is also you have to see. So what are the various components in the design? When you are designing the VRS scheme, what should the components? First things you have to do a gratuity, then bonus, then your leave travel returns, transportations, settlement of the. So there is you have to design the various schemes in such a way, and you have to see the analysis parties also, and it should be attractive also. At the same time, you have to see the social systems. It not affect the social system also. Certainly, unemployment is not there. So, considering all these things, so this is some sort of question patterns about. Apart from that, there are other so many questions are there. So it is all are the latest things are there. Every day we are come across a lot of things, new things. So I hope this is the way we have to now complete the complete blocks. Total composition package that courses has completed now. And the next class we have to, the next session we have to see the review of the complete composition package and things, where I have to discuss of the block 1, block 2, block 3 and block 4, all the blocks considering the things, and apart from that, as it give you some of the complete ideas. In the next session where I'm planning for the review of these things. So okay, I think thank you now. We have complete the session now today. Okay, thank you.